Mali just caught a French spy red-handed trying to overthrow their government, and France can't deny it anymore. Meet Yan V, supposedly just a regular French embassy worker, except he was secretly a DGSE agent, plotting to take down General Assimi Goïta. Oops, cover blown. French news outlets are now admitting what Mali already knew. This wasn't some rogue diplomat. This was a full-scale destabilization operation designed to infiltrate Mali's defense forces and turn soldiers against their revolution. Here's the kicker that proves French guilt. Their own news agencies reported the operation before Mali even announced the arrest. They knew because they were running the show from Paris. Mali's intelligence played this perfectly, gathering evidence while France thought they were invisible. Now they want the UN to hear how France funds terrorism, but the UN keeps looking away.
Hi guys, and welcome to the Traore Army. My name is Jehovah, and today I have three things that I want to talk about. First, I want to talk about the Sahel is giving the Western world like a run for their money, like literally. France cannot let go of our children, and I don't understand. When I'm talking about our children, I'm talking about Ibrahim Traore, Assimi Goïta, and Siani. He's the Niger president. I'm talking about the three Sahel leaders, the ones that we can count on right now. France cannot get their filthy hands off our boys. I don't know what's going on. We're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about Cameroon is still under fire. Right now we are hearing that the other president, who's obviously not Paul Biya, has run to Nigeria. I'm not quite sure whether there is some, like truth in it or whatever, but we're going to share the information that we have. And then the Charlie Kirk assassination is getting crazier and crazier by the day, honestly speaking. Because remember, I was very specific that I personally, from what I listened to about Charlie Kirk, for me, no one can convince me that he wasn't racist. If he wasn't racist, then he says so many racist things. So where did that come from? So at least for now, I'm definitely like he was racist. If, I listened to some of his video, he really sounded like a very good kind of young man who really fight a lot of other things and so on. But it was hard for me to find things where he talked about specifically about his own people. He was apparently even the last point before he was assassinated, he was again talking about our people. So no one can unconvince me about that. I have to be convinced by my own research and so on, and none of that has convinced me. However, putting that aside, we are talking about why was he assassinated, because remember I told you in my previous clip that he wasn't assassinated by a black person because he was racist. No, this is far more sinister than you can ever imagine. This is like, yeah. So I'm gonna allow Candace Owens to actually explain those things, and because she's doing a whole lot of research and investigation about it. So yes, welcome back to Traore Army. Anyway, let's get started. We're gonna start with Cameroon. Cameroon is still under, I don't want to say under siege, because it's the Cameroonian people themselves who stood up against, 92-year-old president who has been president for 43 years and now apparently re-elected. The problem is not that, the people has a problem with him. The problem is that they actually know that the election has been rigged, and there's just no way, especially from the English side where apparently he won, and I think I shared that in my previous video, where he won so many votes, when we know that the English-speaking side of Cameroon would never want Paul Biya to be president, because he's so much against because they want to have their own kind of like, I don't know whether it's like Quebec here, if I can, compare it to that. And he's against it. So why would they want him, apparently? So we know that the elections, we know who's behind it. We obviously know that this country is actually run by Macron. It's not Paul Biya in control. He's just like the instrument that, the West use. So we know that the West is behind it because they're afraid to lose Cameroon because they lost their Sahel region. And by the name of the God that I serve, they will not gain control over the Sahel regions ever again in Jesus' name. What kind of nonsense is this? Anyway, yeah, so now I'm going to put a video here that talks about the other president. He's also old, but obviously not as old as Paul Biya. He went to Nigeria and apparently he's hiding there. So I'm just praying that everything will be okay in Cameroon because, as you know, I'm now Cameroonian because my husband is a Cameroonian. So I just pray for the best. So let's look at the video quickly.
A man stripped of movement but not of meaning. Before him lies a folder stamped top secret, immediate transfer. Its red seal glowing like a warning flare in the dark. This is Issa Tchiroma Bakari, no longer merely a political figure, but a target. A name that now vibrates at the fault line between power and fear. Cameroon accuses him of inciting post-electoral violence, attempting destabilization and subversion. Charges as heavy as iron, deployed not just as legal tools, but as instruments of containment. In Yaoundé, he is framed as a threat. In Nigeria, he is treated as a variable in a delicate equation. And across the borderlands of the Lake Chad Basin, his presence has become a signal of a political storm gathering speed. For weeks,
Welcome back. So like that, we need, as I said in my previous video, we need to continue praying for Cameroon and for Cameroonians. They are very peace-loving people, but I'm just proud of them that they stood up against those bullies, because the bully is really not Paul Biya, to be quite honest, because I feel like Paul Biya is not even there. Like, I feel like he's not even present. I feel like he's being controlled, like almost like this voodoo thing where people can control you with the whatever. I heard about voodoo, and when I watched a movie that where someone was controlling somebody else through voodoo, and I'm like, oh my god, this is crazy. No one can control me like that. Like, no one literally can control me with your voodoo thing. You can reach that stage of controlling me like that. I feel like I'm too powerful to be, I always tell my husband and then he laughs at me, I'm too powerful to be bewitched, because, I'm hosting the God of the universe, the very God of the universe inside this body. That's like as powerful as you can get. Now, let's talk about the Sahel. Like, what is going on with France? They are not letting go of the Sahel. They are not letting go of, as Assimi Goïta. You need to know that we talk a lot about Traoré, but the person who actually started the movement, by the way, is actually Assimi Goïta, this guy. Listen to this little clip, how they actually describe him, that the reason Traoré is acting the way he's acting is because he has a bigger brother behind him. Listen to this clip quickly.
23 assassination attempts on one man, and he's still standing like nothing happened. Meet Ibrahim Traoré, the world's youngest leader, who somehow keeps dodging bullets like he's in an action movie. But here's what the West didn't count on. He's got backup that makes their nightmares come true. General Assimi Goïta isn't just any ally. This guy literally kicked out French puppets twice and started the entire African liberation movement. Now he's the boss of the Alliance of Sahel States, making him Traoré's ultimate protector. The imperialists thought they were playing chess, but these African leaders were playing three-dimensional warfare. When French intelligence tried infiltrating Mali's army and turning Goïta's own friends against him, he caught their secret agents red-handed. While the West keeps throwing assassination plots and coups, the AES keeps getting stronger. 3 countries, 3 unshakable leaders, 1 unstoppable movement.
So that's Assimi Goïta. So they have been trying. Right now they actually have a guy who's obviously a French, they are now calling him a French diplomat as if he was working for the embassy. We obviously know it's lies, because recently this other guy who's like almost like the CIA in France came out to say that's actually one of their military, chief of military, I think. So we got you guys, because sometimes you can over talk and give your game away. They have been claiming he was working for the embassy, but now we know he was actually a France intelligence, like, working for the military. He has been like working as a military like general for like 27 years. That's like big. And he's in prison in Bamako, you know. So, okay, so I'm gonna put that video of that guy that I told you guys that he has a way of like just really describing things so good. And I love I watch his video. So let's listen to him a little bit.
Une pensée pour l'agent de la DGSE qui est actuellement détenu depuis 3 mois, nous en parlons tout à l'heure, au Mali.
Yeah, we back. Yeah, we back. Now, as you can see, the beginning of that video, that was the director of French intelligence, the director of the DGSE. And of course, as you already know by now, the DGSE is the French equivalent of the CIA. Just like out in the UK, they got the MI6. Just like in the United States, they got the CIA. Just like out in Russia, they got the SVR. Just like out in China, they got the MSS, right? So when we talk about the DGSE, we talking about the French intelligence. We're talking about one of our chief adversaries. We're talking about our mortal enemies, right? We're talking about a collective of individuals who wake up every single day and figure out ways, how can we undermine the black man? How can we stifle the black man's progress? Now, of course, that's not their mission statement. Their mission statement is to defend, French interests, Western interests, which by definition is undermining the black man, right? So these guys wake up every single day. They feed their family off undermining the black man. It's totally crazy. But anyway, so today I'm going to be reacting once again to some statements made at interview. The director of the DGSE, he did an interview on French national TV. And of course, he made some interesting statements. The other day, I reacted to what he said about the geopolitical situation on the continent. Now today, I'm going to be reacting to a different part of the interview where he actually confirmed what we already knew, that the agent, the individual that is currently in custody right now in Mali, right? He's been locked up since like back in August, going on about 3 months now. Of course, we already knew that was an agent of French intelligence, but the French government, if you remember those videos I made during that time, of course, they denied it. Just like they denied those 4 agents in Burkina back in 2023, and later on they admitted it after they paid millions of dollars. So these guys, like I said, they have no credibility. They look you dead in the face and lie. And I told you, back in August, when I made those videos reacting to the story, I told you it took the French government at least 72 hours for them to make a statement after the arrest of that individual, right? The story went viral worldwide, and the French government was silent for like 3 days. That's how you knew they were scrambling. That's how you knew they were stressing. And when they came out, if you remember, they came out and said that this was not an agent of the DGSE. They said that this was a staff member at the embassy, right? They said this just the embassy worker, right? He worked at the embassy. He's a counselor at the embassy, right? But of course, due to the excellent work of the intelligence services of the AES, and before I continue, let me give a shout out to the good brother Modibo Kone, the director of intelligence in Mali, right? The intelligence director in Mali, right? Because he's the one who's the brains behind making sure the enemy cannot penetrate the vicinity. He's the one who stays 10 steps ahead of the adversary every single time, right? Like I said, man, the last director of the DGSE, he got fired, right? He got fired because, unfortunately, France was taking so many losses in Africa, he lost his job. That's the reason why Nicholas Lerner is the guy in power right now, right? So he's been tasked with the job of, putting the black man back in his place. That's essentially why Nicholas Lerner was hired for the job, right? Emmanuel Macron believes that Nicholas Lerner has what it takes to put the black man back in his place. Right now, unfortunately, so far it seems like Nicholas Lerner, he about to get fired very soon also, because just like the last guy who was in the position, you already getting agents locked up, agents being detained for months and months, can't get them released, right? Man, listen, man, already taking losses already. Nicholas Lerner, the head of French intelligence, already taking losses like the last guy. You about to get fired too, right?
So can you see what's going on there? They are just really into wanting to create this narrative of like Bamako is falling. Bamako is the capital city of Mali anyway, by the way, in case you didn't know what I'm talking about when it comes to Bamako. But they are really trying to, right now, they have no choice. They are trying to create propaganda so that, like this media propaganda where they say, oh no, this is going on, this is going on, this is going on, just to discredit this wonderful, son of ours, the president of Mali, Assimi Goïta, the guy who started the whole movement. But they are not going to succeed. You know why? Because we are going to create awareness. That's why I'm saying, guys, share this video. Let it go viral, okay? It's not about, I'm not earning any money on YouTube, at least yet. But it's not even about that. When I started all this video, all this channel, I actually had no clue that I can earn money on YouTube. So it's not about the money. It's about creating awareness. Now let's go to Charlie Kirk assassination. What is really going on? Because Candace is revealing layers upon layers of evidence that actually, you know, like it will put the whole thing of Christianity, have these mega churches and pastors into a little bit of like scrutiny of like, are they really working for God or are they working for the devil in disguise? As if, okay, no, we love God, we do this and this. Because I feel like, you know, we're going to talk about it, but I'm going to let Candace explain to you about, I think his name is Rob McCoy, and his son is actually supposed to take over after Charlie Kirk, who apparently was supposed to be Charlie's Kirk best friend. But from the information of how he walked away when Charlie was shot and all the, you know, things going on, you know, I think his name is Mikey McCoy. Let's listen to Candace. Let her take it away.
All right, you guys, where to begin? Well, the Turning Point USA Wikipedia entry got a very interesting update the night after Charlie Kirk was murdered. A certain someone was mysteriously added to the entry for the first time ever, listed as a co-founder of one of their divisions. That's interesting. I wonder who. Also, I was a bit taken aback. I was obviously away in Wyoming when President Trump honored Charlie Kirk with his very own holiday as a posthumous birthday present. But I was a little taken aback that people really believe that that would somehow put an end to the conspiracies. It's supposed to be over now because look, Charlie Kirk Day. Okay, we'll see about that. And sticking with the Trump family, Don Trump Jr. has come out to share his feelings regarding the FBI investigation. And man, oh man, you guys, I just am wondering how deep this thing really goes, because there is not a single member of the Trump family that could have upset me more with his commentary than Don Trump Jr.
Okay, welcome back. So when we listen to that, we realize that there's a lot more than catch the eye. It's not about Charlie Kirk being a racist and being assassinated and all that, but it's something more sinister than we can ever think about. I think it's about that nation that no one can mention. We cannot even be honest about what's going on in, you know, I don't even want to mention the name. I would say in Gazilo. I think you got what I'm saying. So we cannot even mention what's going on in Gazilo. We know that children and women are just being unalive and so on, but we cannot talk about it because you know what? These people are chosen. Chosen by who? By which God? Like, seriously? Are we really going with that nonsense? Is that the people that God chose? The ones that came in 1948? And, you know, like, I don't know whether God chose Nati Nyoho. Did God chose, like, that guy? I don't know, guys. But you can make that decision for yourself. But having said that, we are coming to the end of this video. Please comment, subscribe, and also send it to other people so that we can create awareness about what's going on in the world, because most people really don't watch these things. Yeah, so thank you. Bye.